This video is to provide notes, tips, and guides to help you get started with the process of preparing for virtual learning now that school is closed. We will go through everything you need to know to set you off on this journey. Every day that virtual schooling is in effect, this is the process you should take. Every morning, you will email both the parents and the students. It is important that you make sure that you are emailing their students at their Office Outlook email. We will go through the process at the end of this training on how, again, you can gather emails from PowerSchool and BCC information to parents and students. Every day, you should email them with an activity that is no more than 20 to 30 minutes per class. There should be an activity or content that you can have students complete at home on their own pace. You will provide a learning target, activities for that lesson, directions on where they can find the instructional content as well as any information they might need to access it, and you will lay out all the student expectations. What do you hope them to learn? When is information due? How should they return that information to you? What else should they expect along the way? Throughout this process, you will be teaching asynchronously. That means you and the students will be working on different things at different times. Your classes will not meet at their regular scheduled times. This is for a variety of reasons. While you may be keeping a regular workday from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m., an asynchronous schedule allows you and the students the flexibility to do what they need to do to handle their at-home responsibilities and balance their workload. We are asking that you try to have an email sent out to families by 8:30 in the morning, or as close as you can get to that, so that people will have options and flexibility on when they complete the work throughout the day. Keep in mind that some of our students are going to need the support of their family members who may not be home all day long, and other students will be sharing devices with their younger siblings or even help watch their younger siblings. Please, because of that, be flexible on your due dates and times. If you assign something at 8:30 in the morning, for example, it would not be appropriate to say that it is due by noon that day. You might want to say that it is due at noon in 2 days from now. Or you might want to assign projects that can be broken down over several days. But keep in mind, students might not be able to work on the schedule we expect them to. Because we're teaching asynchronously, it's also important that you might want to communicate what times you are off the clock. Set office hours for email. Keep in mind that students will email you later at night, but we just want to let them know when they should expect a response from you and when they think is a healthy amount of time to be responded to. We wanted to provide you a sample of what your day might look like if you were teaching asynchronously. This is just a sample. You obviously will have the flexibility and freedom to do what you need to do to balance your own personal needs at home with this workload. We do ask that every day that you try to send an email by 8:30 so that students that need to get on the machine earlier in the morning will have the opportunity to see their current assignments. So from 8 to 8:30, we hope that you'll be able to send and communicate each day's activity. And then from there, you could spend the next couple hours from 8:30 to 11 preparing materials for the next day and going back through your emails to see what questions or issues students had, or to see if there's any other things that need troubleshooting. You also might want to use this time to check in with students to see how everything is going. From 11 to 12, you could take a nice hour lunch break. And then from 12 to 3, you should go back and check on student questions and comments and start grading student submissions that have come in for the previous day's work. I will also recommend that you take plenty of breaks from your screen, move around, and spend as much time as you can taking care of yourself. We don't want anyone to get burnt out staring at the machine solidly from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Before we get going with specifics, I wanted to provide some virtual instruction tips. First and foremost, it's important that we try to keep what we use simple. It's never a good idea in a situation like this to introduce a new program to our students. They might already be feeling anxious about what is happening, so we don't want to overwhelm them with new technology tools or systems. Now, Of course, you can give them links to click on or give them new ideas to grapple with, but we don't want them to try to have to navigate through a whole new system or technology set of tools that they're not familiar with. You all know your students the best, so please keep this in mind when you're designing activities for them. So, using what we normally would use. If you've used class pages to collect or deliver work, please continue to do it through there. If you've used the Unified Classroom feed and Unified Classroom activity lists to collect assignments, please continue to do that here. OneNote class notebooks, again, are great in this situation. Please continue to use those as you have. We all know, and we've all been asking students to work within their Office 365 emails. So again, you can always, no matter what, ask students to email you back questions and send them files and attachments through here. You could also send them an email, a folder with documents in your OneDrive. At the end of this presentation, I'll go over as well how you can share a folder and email it to your students. Please take advantage of the resources that are available in your digital textbook. Some of the other things I'm highly recommending are learning how to create voiced over PowerPoints that would allow you to have some new information shared with kids or provide support or read aloud things that need to be read to them, or just give them a general greeting hello so that they know you're there and that you're caring about them. You could also go to the trouble of creating a screencast, providing video-based instruction. This is not required, but if that's something that's in your comfort zone, we're glad to support you with that as well. Some other resources that we have that would be great for the next couple of weeks. Nearpods are great. You can create student-paced lessons and distribute them to students without them having to log in. We have full access to the Nearpod lesson library. You're able to take all of those lessons and adapt them to your needs in any way, and doing so is quick and easy. Students can click on a link and be in the Nearpod, and all they would have to do is enter in their name and they're all set. We actually also have full access to BrainPop. I'm going to show you guys the passwords for your schools in just 1 minute, so if you wanted them to watch videos or interact with content, you could. If you already have classes set up in BrainPop, you can continue to have them do the quizzes, the short answer worksheets, the graphic organizers in there as well. Again, I don't recommend that you have the kids try to join your BrainPop classes remotely unless they have strong comfort in this area already. Vocabulary, don't forget about that. That has an Office 365 login, which makes it easy for students to go in and watch the videos and complete assignments in there as well. One thing I want to make sure everyone's aware of, Safari Montage is not available outside the district, which means it will not be a resource you'll be able to utilize for virtual instruction. As promised, here are the different school usernames and passwords for each of the buildings. If you want to, take a second, I'll pause here so you can take out your phone or write down these usernames and passwords. We also have over here on the right educator codes that you could use to create your own BrainPop account. So you can start to look at some of the other resources, lesson guides, or if you already have classes set up in there, you could assign digital work through here too. So I'll just leave this up for a second so you have the ability to write this down. One thing I do want to mention here, this is actually really important. We are not supporting or encourage any live streaming of instruction or video chatting with students at this time. If you want to pre-record yourself and release that, that is acceptable, keeping in mind that you still have your same professional dress and mannerisms presented forward. I don't think I have to say that, but just in case. What we do want to make sure is that we are not allowing students to turn on their video cameras in a live chat setting situation. Two reasons for that. Number one, technology concerns. We obviously have not tested the system out, and we cannot promise that this is something that will work for students in their home with us. Second of all, there's huge privacy concerns. In addition to the fact that we have promised parents that the teachers will not have live access to any student's webcam. We also want to make sure that you are not accidentally sending out images to other students that they should not be privy to. So it's really, really important that this is not done. Obviously, you can do a chat through typing. That's great. We encourage that. If you want your students to use Flipgrid, that's fine. Make sure you're moderating all your Flipgrid posts and that you are encouraging students who are not comfortable with sharing images to cover their webcams. So those are some things to keep in mind as well. If you need assistance with adding your voice to PowerPoint or creating screencasts of your instruction, again, that's something we can assist with. I will be offering some help immediately after the session and also throughout the next 2 weeks through scheduled team sessions that you can join. And that's something we'll talk about a little bit later. Again, there's lots of different ways we can collect back information and work with students. Email is a simple way to talk to students. Please encourage email as the main tool of communication with your setup office hours. If you're already using class pages or Schoology, threaded discussions are a great way to have students interact with you, and you can set up private or public threaded discussions. Inside the Unified Classroom dashboard, on the left-hand side, you have that messaging area. That might be a really nice way to help you email your students and keep them kind of sorted and organized by person. Keep in mind that on your end that those emails also get sent to your email as a backup, but for the students they won't. They won't go into their emails. So you would have to make sure that students knew to look there if that's what you were going to use. Also in the Unified Classroom, you could create online digital assignments and have them become assignment turn-in spots. Nearpod again, remember we have collaboration boards that could be moderated for students to share information and ask questions. And you can use open-ended questions as a way of getting information on a variety of topics, both assessing knowledge and allowing them to open up for more questions. Keep in mind we have the ability to use forms and class pages assessment to gather data and evaluate understanding. This doesn't have to be in a formal test situation. You could have students read an online article and have them go into the form and just answer questions about that article. There's a lot of different ways that you can use these tools as a way of just gathering simple data. I know many of you use GoFormative, you use Socrative. Please continue to use those tools as well in any way that works for you. Again, we have some more resources. These are not obviously district provided ones, but they're ones that I know are used frequently throughout our district and are great for asynchronous environments. You have quizzes homework mode. You have Kahoot can be put in what they call challenge mode. You have Edpuzzle and PlayPosit interactive videos are perfect for this situation. For repetitive practice, you can always send kids to sites like Quizlet for flashcards and games. If throughout the couple of weeks you are struggling with coming up ideas or you're not sure what activities might be best to support something through digital virtual instruction, you can just reach out to me. I'll have my email up and running every day. You can Skype me. You can reach out in any other ways. You call me on Teams, text me, whatever way you have to get a hold of me, do it. I will be here in my new dining room office ready to help answer your questions. One thing I want to bring up, because I don't want you all to forget, we do have to find ways to provide accommodations for students with special needs, but here's the great news. We do have a lot of options built into these digital programs. One of the most common things that students need assistance with is reading, hearing things read aloud to them, especially maybe in content areas. So here's some things you need to keep in mind. The immersive reader is available in a lot of our different platforms. It's available in Word, it's available in OneNote, it's available in Forms, it's available in Nearpod, it's even available on the Unified Classroom dashboard page. Anytime you see this symbol, this is the immersive reader symbol up here. Anytime you see this symbol on something, that means that the immersive reader can be activated. In Word and on OneNote, it is on the View tab. Okay, that's where they kind of have it hiding. But from here, what you can do is you can click on the immersive reader, and then any page where this is available, it can be read aloud, and other accommodations such as masking and line focus, text changes, spacing can be applied to those pages to help provide supports for those students. Also keep in mind that Your textbooks, many of your textbooks have built-in screen readers as part of what they use. And if your program does not have one, a lot of times we have had students take advantage of the Read Aloud Google Chrome extension. And if you find that there's a student that is in need and needs assistance with that, you can reach out and I'll put together guides for you to help that student. We find many of our students who need that already have that in place. But just keep in mind that we have these Read Aloud tools available for them that kids can practice using to help them. Some other accommodations to keep in mind. Assignments and assessments that you have them do in Learning Class Pages, Schoology, Forms, and Unified Classroom can be submitted multiple times. Okay, so they always have the ability to have second chances and return things in. If you have a student who's in need of scribing, these features are available in Word and OneNote. If you go to the Home tab and you click on Dictate, it will actually start recording whatever the student says. And most importantly, again, I'm going to bring up being able to use voiceovers or screencasts really can help students with reading and content areas and can provide rephrasing and redescribing of directions. So these are several common accommodations that can't be normally met in the home setting. Obviously, flexible seating and placement and things like that are automatically happening, and chunking can still be done by you as you create your lessons. We are really trying to encourage everyone to leverage the technology as much as possible to communicate ideas to families. The reason that we chose email as our starting point and not some other platform is that we wanted some consistency K to 12 for our people. And email is easy for all you to use. We know that you are all proficient in your email. And we know that all of our students know how to access their email as well. So one of the things that's important to note is that when we use technology, we're not having to try and guess ahead. So we know right now that we're closed for 2 weeks, but we don't know what's going to happen after that. So by having technology available, we can continue to track and monitor student progress and plan moving forward. If you did provide students with anything paper-based already, it's important that you follow up with the next couple of weeks with the emails that should have supports and directions, videos, help links, check-ins, anything else that can help support the kids with their paper-based activities. Okay, and as we just discussed, because in a long-term absence, if things continue, paper-based activities might not be a sufficient solution. Not that any of this is 100% ideal, but the more we can leverage the technology to provide supports, the better off we will be. Okay, and I firmly believe that, and I'm committed to helping you through that in the next couple of weeks and whatever you need. Now I'm going to keep saying this. As soon as we're done with this session, I'm going to stay on Teams. And anybody who's interested, if you drop me your name, if you just have your question takers, give me your name. I'll start a new session with you where we can talk about anything you need and we'll go through some things in more detail. So I want to say that. Anybody who wants to stay on afterwards, we'll set up a separate call just for you. And on the rest of the day today, later this afternoon, and on Tuesday, what we'll be able to do is set up times for you guys to have small group sessions with me. I'll be running team sessions throughout the next 2 weeks on different topics. If you need help and support, I can send you the link. We can jump on and I can share my screen with you and you can share your screen with me. So I can teach you from anywhere, and I will hopefully be able to help you with whatever you need. So what do I do next, you might be saying? Well, in a minute, we're going to go over some specifics on how to do some of these things. But I just want to remind everyone, right now, today, you do not have to plan all your lessons fully right this moment. You can do this as you go every day. We want you to try to come up with a plan for tomorrow, but you don't necessarily have to have your plan done for the whole next 2 weeks. Start brainstorming what resources you could use. Start to look for some Nearpods, BrainPop videos, Edpuzzle, whatever you normally use, whatever you like to help supplement your digital programs. And again, if you need ideas, feel free to reach out. I want you guys to start practice using your PowerPoint voiceover tools and screencast tools. I'm going to stay on in Teams, just like I said, to help specifically with these things, but there's also people in all 3 buildings who can assist with that, and I can, if you would like me to get you someone face-to-face, I can help point you in the right direction as well. Before you leave today, please, if you have a co-teacher, meet with them, talk with them. What's the plan of attack? Okay, if you're not sure how to collect email addresses, we'll go over that, but practice getting those email addresses out of PowerSchool and check that it works. Please make sure that if you have your laptop here with you today, and I hope you do, at some point log into your laptop before you go home, because if you haven't been on your laptop in the past couple of months, you may not be able to open it up at home. So super important. Okay, so those are kinds of things I want you to think about and try to do before you leave here today or throughout the rest of the day today, even if you're home. I'm here electronically. If you're not seeing me in person, I am here for you. I also want to bring up before we go any further, in case you were worried about it, the district and the IT department, again, you may have seen this already in the notes from Mr. Bollendorf, are providing a solution to get all families onto a wireless network. You will not have to provide an alternative assessment or assignment for anyone. However, obviously, the process of providing internet to every family in the district will not be immediate. And I say for family in the district, I mean for those without, even for those without. It's not a huge number, but still. We are expecting to see some delays with these families as we're providing them with their solution. So please be flexible and understanding of that point. Again, so besides you needing support from me, obviously we've been through that, but if you have students who have a technology issue and you're not quite sure what the solution is, you can always email me. I can help triage it to the right place, and I'll be working with IT support as well. You always have the option of contacting the help desk through ClassLink or through the desktop of your computer. However, I can definitely help triage and set up cases. So we can make sure we provide support for them. IT will be working as well and trying their best to try to remote in different ways to assist students. On the slides that follow, you'll find video directions on how to complete the following tasks. Export emails from PowerPoint and put into the Outlook BCC. Create voiceovers in PowerPoint. Create video recordings in Screencast-O-Matic. How to share OneDrive folders with view-only documents for students and families. And how to create threaded discussions and learning class pages. You can come back to these videos at any time or reach out if you need more clarification. This video is going to show you how you can retrieve parent and student emails from PowerSchool and put them into an email message so you can send content for virtual schooling. The first step is you're going to go down to the bottom left-hand corner and click on the Quick Links rocket, and underneath Custom Links, you're going to select Email Class. From here, it is going to take you into a new window. On this screen, you will see we have a list of all the student names, student emails, parent emails, and then the parent portal emails. Quick difference, these are the ones that have been entered into PowerSchool by the district based on the information that was submitted from the parents. Over here, these are the emails that the parents have added themselves in the parent portal when they go into their own account. So if these two columns don't match, you might want to select both to make sure that you're hitting everyone. To select all of the student emails, you check this box at the top. To select all the parent and guardian emails, you can select at the top, or you can select them all from here and then individually select parent portal emails that are different. You're then going to scroll down where it says Build Email List. You're going to make sure that it's either on existing or on semicolon and not comma. Then you're going to click Build List. Right now you have a list of all the email addresses and they're highlighted, so you're able to then just right-click and choose Copy or type in Control-C on your keyboard. You're then going to switch into your Outlook, either online or the full version will work, and you're going to tap New Message. Now in the online version, you'll see here the BCC box is hidden up here. It's really important you click on that and turn that on because that's where you need to paste all of the emails to, and you can click Control-V or right-click Paste, and then all of those emails are going to fill in under the BCC. Now, a lot of times I suggest that up here you put your own name so that the parents can or students can reply back to you. All right, and if you leave, you can leave it blank, however, and then they won't have an email address to necessarily reply back to. But it's really important that you make sure all the parents or students are listed here under BCC so they will not see each other's email addresses. Then you can scroll down and compose a message as normal. If you're in the full version of the software, you will see the BCC block should be turned on for you already. And as before, you can right-click paste or Control-V into that BCC spot to send your email.
Head to screencast-o-matic.com.
We're going to show you how you can use the OneDrive to share lots of documents with families and students. In your OneDrive Online, you're going to start at the top and you're going to click on New and select Folder. And you're going to name the folder your class name, period name, or other identifying information that will help families understand and help you understand what this is for. So we hit Create. Then after that class shows up in your OneDrive, we hover over the folder and you'll see right next to it there's a little sharing arrow. If you tap or click on that, that will bring up your sending preferences. Now, I'm going to suggest what you do is you're going to take this box, tap on it, and you're going to leave it to anyone with the link because we want parents and families to be able to access it. But we're going to uncheck the box to allow editing. If you're also concerned, you could set a password you share to families. But basically what we're going to do is then we're going to apply that. We now have a link that anyone who has access to this folder can view the folder and view the contents of that folder. All right, if we copy that link, it's going to create a shareable link now, and we click copy. This is the link that we're going to email to parents and students to give them access to that folder. You can do that through Outlook. You can do that through Office 365 Online Outlook. You're going to go to PowerSchool. You can export all of the names in there. There's a video for that as well if you need assistance with that. If you want to, you could also put the individual names or paste the individual names of students and families up here, and that will send them a direct link. But I feel it's almost easier to construct an email in Outlook with explanations and directions. So those are two choices and options. Then anything that goes inside of this folder, and now we can either create the documents inside the folder, or we can upload files from our OneDrive, from our hard drive of our computer, from anywhere we need to go to grab those. Okay, so once you get things and you add them into your folder, you'll see that automatically those files are shared because the whole folder is shared. All right, and this file is shared because it's in a shared folder. Okay, so that link that went to the folder gives them link to all the resources and documents. So this is a nice way. If you share with families a folder, you could then throughout the days add into here any documents that you need them to have access to. They won't be able to edit the documents, but they can open, download, and make their own copies of them as they need, or they could look at them just for reference. In class pages, there is a function and feature that allows you to have threaded discussions with your students. On any page, if you go to Add Content Block, then go to Messages and Activities, you can select the discussion option. The discussion title could be the optional gradebook title or just something that summarizes the topic. In the topic discussion, you could either pose specific questions or you could provide general guidelines for the types of things that could be added into the discussion board, such as tell us about your favorite book, which is the example they gave on the step before. If you scroll down, you see you have different types. A class discussion. So if you have multiple sections of students in a class, so if you have a master class with several sections linked together, a class discussion would allow all students from all different periods and sections to discuss together. A section discussion allows members of an entire class to discuss with you at once. A group discussion only works if you have set up groups in class pages, something we're not going to get into in this video. And then the last one is a one-to-one discussion board between you and the student, more of a journal. I'm going to leave it on section discussion as I think that will be the most popular type of discussion. We want to make sure we are publishing this discussion to all sections, and you can have different dates here. If you uncheck the box, you'll see you could have different dates for each section. Depending on the types of questions you ask, you may require students to post first before seeing each other's posts, and you can decide whether or not you want them to be able to see what the other periods have said, regardless of what they've done in their own section. Okay, finally, you can choose to save this in your gradebook or not. And I hit save. Now, if you click on View Discussions, you will be able to see all of the posts that have appeared here. I can start by adding a new post myself that I can have the students answer. But again, since I checked the box that says they have to post first, they're not going to be able to see my post until they've posted themselves. So it's very simple to complete. Once all the students have posted, their discussions will file in here. On the top right under Manage Discussions, you can close the discussion, you can lock it, or again, you can view the results of the students' work here, this time with student names on the left and the post that they have here. Reach out. Again, here's the information. If you want to stay in the live team session to work with me in small groups, you can. Again, there's other people in the building who are available to help you. The topics might include how you could create a voiceover PowerPoint or how to create a screencast-o-matic. Okay, or you can take these resources and these videos and go through them on your own.